Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ served.
Welcome to Partners in Ministry. I'm your host, Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Arlen Daleske. Arlen is the founder of Providential Homes Incorporated. Today, we're going to discuss what is Providential Homes, how and why it was started, and how we can support their work. Welcome, Arlen, and thank you for joining me today.
Thanks. It's good to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
I'm excited about this interview. I think people are going to be surprised what's going on here. So most of our listeners will have no clue what Providential Homes is. So let's just start right at the very, very beginning. What is Providential Homes?
Providential Homes is a ministry to, in a sense, give people a second chance, to give an opportunity where they normally wouldn't have it. We want to find dwellings that need to be refurbished, remodeled, and then get families into them so that they can get in at a reasonable price and then find a way to pay us back whatever we have into them, and then become homeowners and then start to feel that sense of self-worth, self-pride in moving forward.
Okay. So unlike free housing or rent-free this or whatever, the goal is ultimately for whoever it is that you're serving to end up be the homeowner?
Yes, that's our practice. And there have been some that have come in, been a part, and then for various reasons had to move on, do something else. And so then we just offer it to someone else.
Sure. So what's the scope of the area that you're serving? I mean, how far from the New Providence do you go? North, south, east, west?
Well, right now we've just got a house and some projects in New Providence, but we've gone to Eldora. So 9 miles. We've been in contact with folks in Union and just haven't found any house to satisfy our needs or someone else's.
Sure. So that was my next question I was going to ask you. So how do you find out about homes, possible homes to go ahead and redo for people?
Mostly it's word of mouth, and there are a few folks that know about us. For instance, one of them was a fire damaged house, and the owner was not going to be able to get things out of it that they wanted to, and so we're going to get some insurance money, but they weren't going to be able to put it back where they wanted to, and so they gave it to us.
Okay.
So we've had 5 houses. 4 of them we have started at zero, which means the homeowners have given them to us. And then the other one we bought for $4,000 and then moved on from there. And you can kind of understand that the ones that were given to us were ones that should be given to us because they were in condition that they needed to have a lot of work done to build them up so people could be in them.
Yeah. So it sounds like there's 2 really positive things that are going on here. One, people are getting an opportunity, like you said, to have a second chance to be a homeowner and to have their own home. But the other is that you're taking what would normally kind of sit and be an eyesore or be kind of a point of danger in a community, and now you're revitalizing it and making it really something beautiful in the location.
Right. We've had several comments from neighbors thanking us for making an improvement, because any improvement made on that house made their house look better and made the neighborhood look better. So it does have a rippling effect, if you want to say that, and makes people feel better about those coming in.
Sure. Well, this has definitely got to be a God thing. So tell me, how in the world did he get you started on this adventure?
Well, way back 2008, let's say, being pastor at Honey Creek, New Providence, one of our parishioners was a first grade teacher over in the school system. And we were talking, and she said to me that one of her students came to her and said that she and her family were living out of a car in Eldora. And for me, that hit me so hard, because that happens in New York and Chicago and Detroit. You know, people live in their cars. I can understand that, but not Eldora, Iowa. That certainly something should be done. So we set out to try to find a way to provide housing for such individuals. And that's what we're seeking to do, is to find folks that would be homeless without the help of someone else. And some of it came from the fact that my own journey was with a parent, a father who was an alcoholic. So we moved and we moved and we moved and we moved, but there was always a place for us. And one of them didn't have indoor plumbing and other things, none of the amenities that my teen or teenage sister would need, but fine for me. And we lived there, but there was always something over my head. And I thought, certainly we can provide that for people, at least that a child will at least have a roof over their head and some security. And that's what they need in this day and age, I think.
Great. So once again, most of the most meaningful ministries that I've ever been associated with or have been a part of have all started out of a need that came to the person rather than coming up with a good idea. And so it
Mhm.
sounds that's exactly what happened, that there was a real need.
Right.
They came to the church. You happen to be pastoring that church,
Mhm.
and God gave you the means to do something. That must have felt awesome.
It's awesome to see other people catch the vision, or in that case, our very first house was someone heard about what we were going to do and said, well, here's a house.
Wow.
And it was probably the best house that we've ever taken.
Sure.
And took us a while just to get a few things in. And while we were in the process, we provided shelter for a woman and her two daughters that were in an abusive situation, and they just needed security and safety. And so we provided that. They weren't going to be part of the program, but they were willing to live in the mess that we were remodeling. And we got them out of a dangerous situation.
Well, obviously, you can't do this on your own. I do know
Yeah.
you, and I do know you're capable of some amazing things, but there's no way you could pull this off by yourself. So, tell us a little bit about your team. How does this come together from the point of, okay, we've got this house, and now we're gonna make it livable.
Right. You start checking around, and in a way, you check with those folks that are retired. There are a few folks that come in and they take time off their jobs, but a lot of skilled labor out there and a lot of great hearts that are willing to do whatever they can. And so we started talking about it, and then individuals stepped forward. Well, I can do this. I know a little electrical. I know a little bit about that. And so it was generally folks from Honey Creek, New Providence that helped out, but then expanded to some Catholic folks and some Baptist folks and, and atheist folk. So
Sure.
just folks that are wanting to help. Um, and that's where we are blessed to have diversity there as far as different religions, different types of folks, but different types of skills that help us
Sure.
out in the many challenges that we come up against.
Yeah. Well, with us publishing this on the internet and some of the social media and stuff that's going to go out, there's going to probably be one or two people that go, "Hey, this is pretty cool." Um, so, if I wanted to donate building materials, or if I wanted to make my skills available to you, how would I go about connecting with you to let you know that I have an interest in helping?
Oh, I would think let's start with just giving my phone number, uh, 641
Okay.
and that would be the start. We are thinking that we need to do a little bit more in the technological world. We're exploring the idea of a website so that people can see what we're doing. And yet we're trying to think, how do we do that sensitively, showing folks where it was that they were living and how it's changing. And again, not trying to embarrass them or saying, well, look what we've done for you. So we're still trying to get that website figured out.
Sure, sure. So right now, phone call be the number one way.
Sure.
You'll also see on the screen we've got the contact information for the foundation. If you having a problem
Oh, yeah.
connecting, by all
Yeah.
means, call us and we'll get a hold
Yeah.
of. We know Arlen really well and his team, and we can make sure that you get connected to help that way.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the recipients. Is there a process, or is there how do you qualify people in terms of saying, yeah, this is going to be a good fit for us for what we're trying to accomplish, because it could be open to abuse.
Oh, yes. We again do it by word of mouth, and And no, there was one instance where we try to do it just by Holy Spirit's leading, because there are many needs out there, Dan, and people call and people contact us. And in one situation, we thought, well, this is right. This feels right. And perhaps it could have been, but things changed in time. And then they dropped out of the program. Others, again, we think through God's leading, come to us. For instance, I was driving down the road and I knew of this one person. I gave her a call, just wondering how things were, and said, hey, we're going to have a house available in a while. What do you think? And she said, you won't believe this, but in 2 weeks, I will not have a house.
Wow.
And so that's the fun affirmation that we're doing the right thing. But it also indicates that, yeah, there's a lot of need out there. We could have 5 houses filled right now, but getting them is the situation that we're in, trying to find that ground floor number so that when we start adding in repairs and professional services and other things, that we don't get to the point where we're saying, okay, you can come in and when you pay us back $50,000, you can have this house.
Mm.
The top dollar that we've had to put forward to someone is $25,000.
That's not bad.
Well, and then we're offering it just pay us as you can. It's no interest to them. Of course, when taxes come around or property insurance comes around, that's added to the debit side. But whenever they can pay us off whatever we have on the debit side, then it's theirs. We're not trying to make any money. We're just trying to keep things going. A cash flow is nice that we're at a point now that we probably could buy a house for $10,000, but then that starts the process already and makes it look like, well, that's a lot of money for me to come up with. Well, if there's no interest, if you understand that, you can get into a house pretty cheap. And even if it's a $30,000 house or $40,000 house, you can pay that off.
Sure. If I was interested in making a cash donation to the ministry, how would I go about doing that?
Again, you could just contact me or send it to Providential Homes. And the address is 30373 County Highway S57, New Providence, Iowa, 50206.
Awesome. And again, you can also send that through the foundation too, and we would also make sure that money gets over to Providential Homes as well. So, well, Arlen, I just really want to thank you for taking the time to let us know, what you're doing. If you're out there and you know of someone who could really use this type of assistance, especially if they live in the Hardin County area, be sure and contact Arlen or the foundation, and we'll get you guys connected. If you'd like to help out by volunteering your trade skills, again, you've got the contact information here. If you got building materials, maybe you're one of these contractors and you got some plywood and some windows and whatever that's left over from a project, and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. Hey, make a donation either to the foundation or to Providential Homes directly, and we will make sure you get the tax credit for it, as well as those materials get over to them. But probably the most important thing I'd encourage you to do is to pray. I hope you picked up that there really is a reliance on the Holy Spirit to identify who has the need, and then be able to provide something for them that's affordable, that gets them a second chance on their way to a meaningful and a fulfilling life as a homeowner. And you will not believe the encouragement that gives the recipients. So, Arlen, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for your time.
You bet. Hey, if you got any questions or if you'd like to learn more about Providential Homes, you can see their contact information here on the screen. You can also find it on the show notes for this episode on our website, or you can see it in the description of this YouTube video. On behalf of Arlen Daleske, Providential Homes, and Partners in Ministry, thank you for joining me today. And until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.